Now we want to describe each set of numbers in interval notation, as a verbal expression, and as a graph. So we should have 3 solutions for each. So first, interval notation. X is less than or equal to 2. So I know that we're going to go all the way down to negative infinity and up until 2. Remember, we cannot equal infinity, negative infinity, because it's an idea. But since we're equal to 2, we can do a bracket. Now, I will shorten this to say x is at most 2. And then if I wanted to do a graph of this, 2 is my upper bound. I will have a bracket on 2 and shade all the way the other end of this line pointing towards negative infinity. Looking at part B, first in interval notation, I see my lower bound is negative 2 and my upper bound is 3. I am not equal to 3, so I'll put a parenthesis, but I am equal to negative 2, so that's a bracket. So I will say in verbal expression, x is at least negative 2 and less than 3. And now if I want to graph this bounded interval, negative 2 is my lower bound, 3 is my upper bound. I will have a bracket on 2, a parenthesis, make that a parenthesis on 3, and we shade all possible values in between. So now in this next example, we want to describe each set of numbers in inequality notation, as a verbal expression, and as a graph. So as an inequality, it's bounded. X is bounded in between negative 2 and 5, but it can equal, excuse me, negative 2 because of the bracket. So there's my inequality. As a verbal expression, I would say x is at least negative 2 and less than 5. And then if I want to graph this bounded interval on a number line, negative 2 and 5 are my bounds. I will have a bracket on negative 2 because I can equal negative 2, and a parenthesis on 5, and we'll shade everything in between. And then here in our last one for this video, we want to describe this set of numbers in interval notation, inequality notation, and as a graph. So we should have 3 solutions here. X is greater than negative 2 and at most 4. So that means x is bounded between negative 2 and 4. Now it's greater than negative 2, but at most 4 means that it can equal 4. So now I'm going to, that was inequality notation. Now I'll do interval notation. My lower bound is negative 2, my upper bound is 4, parentheses for not equal to, brackets for equal to, and then I can graph this bounded interval on a number line, parentheses on 2, brackets on 4, and we shade all numbers in between. So this is the formal use of inequalities using interval notation, and this is how we will interpret all of our answers when we're solving inequalities.